Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another Arsenal therapy. We are here again. Even when we don't play, we need therapy to ask ourselves why we are still Arsenal fans who bring us nothing but pain and letdown. But yeah, we are here again. Antonio from Uptown is very much back in the building. Although yesterday I pretty much said, basketball, let's not think about football. I stayed up late and the New York Knicks lost in overtime. So, you know what? Whichever sport I go towards, it seems to be going wrong. So, from now on, I think I should just stay away from sport, to be honest. I don't understand. I just don't get it, people. What are we doing here? But anyway, thanks a lot, Thierry Henry. You've set us up for a life of misery as a football fan. Anyway, we will get into it. Arsenal therapy is back again, and you can see my face today. No balaclava, no bag juice, no Antonio from Uptown. Maybe I think we just got to do music, just react to music videos or something. I just don't understand what's going on here. Anyway, do you know what? I'll be honest. Before we do get into therapy, I'm going to be open and honest with the community, right? Because this is the whole point of this. If we can't be honest, there's no point doing this show. I tried to do the copium thing this morning. Tried to deal with copium. It hasn't really worked, but I tried. It's a defense mechanism. So I started saying to myself, well, you know, the backlash hasn't been that bad. I don't know many Tottenham fans. So I was like, I've had a couple messages, but not much. Okay. Man United fans would have been going crazy. So I was like, well, you know, at least I haven't got to deal with much banter. Then I started saying to myself, well, you know, we probably might get Gyökeres now United haven't made the Champions League. So that was my second thing that I tried to say. Then I tried to play the big and bad and say, well, you know, Tottenham are irrelevant. Around the world, nobody really cares about Tottenham. So what if they win a Europa League? That was my defense mechanism. I'm being totally honest with you. That's everything that I went through this morning. I also sent a number of messages out to Man United fans because their fans are loud, very loud. So that was working. That was actually working. I thought I can get through this quite comfortably. They're a nothing club. They're irrelevant. One little Europa League. We can keep it moving. But then when my focus turned off them and I looked back at Arsenal, I was like, trophyless for 5 years, still got Arteta in charge. What can I really focus on with Arsenal? If Arsenal had won a trophy this year and Tottenham had won the Europa League, I could totally brush that off and just go, who cares about them? We won a bigger trophy than them anyway. But we won nothing. We are empty-handed, potless, homeless, begging for spare change. We are genuinely sitting outside of the tube station asking for spare change with the dog for sympathy. Win the dog. We've win the dog. No disrespect to anyone who's ever been homeless, by the way. That sounds quite harsh, but you know, it is information and entertainment. We're outside the tube station with Win the Dog trying to get sympathy change so that we can buy new players next season. That's what we're doing right now. We're busking. We're playing songs. We're singing North London Forever outside of Finsbury Park, asking for change. It's absolutely crazy. So I'll be honest, I was kind of dealing with it. The Tottenham thing, I think I can deal with. It's the Arsenal thing that is the problem. That is the problem. I have a real problem with Arsenal, and we're going to get into it, people. We're going to get into it. This is going to be a crazy show as always. And then we'll look at how we can deal with it moving forward. Interesting. Over the next few days, there are two, not one, but two trophy parades in London, and not one of them is for Arsenal Football Club. Crystal Palace Trophy Parade. They're going to dominate South London. And then tomorrow, a Tottenham trophy parade around North London. And there are rumours, I don't know how true that is, but there are rumours the Tottenham bus will go past the Arsenal stadium. Not confirmed, but a lot of people are saying the Tottenham bus is going to go past the Arsenal stadium. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I do a watch along. Tottenham win a Europa League. I stay up late to watch basketball to put football out of my mind. It ends up going to overtime, which means I stay up incredibly late, even though I've got to do the school run in the morning, and the Knicks lose in overtime. What is going on? I need to leave sport. Music. Do I turn it into a biscuit channel? Do I just eat biscuits on stream? ASMR. Custard creams, digestives, rich teas, caramel digestives. I don't understand. Is it because I didn't ask Thierry Henry for his autograph at Wembley? I didn't rate him when Anelka left? I wanted Trezeguet? What have I done wrong here? This ain't working. This is not working for me. Getting to snooker, I mean, I just... Ronnie O'Sullivan's a good player, but something ain't right. Something is not right. Yeah, we move it to Knicks in 7. Some people were putting in the comments, what does he mean, Knicks in 5? Obviously, New York Knicks, the basketball team that I follow, they're playing in the conference final. I said they'll win in 5, but they lost. Halliburton said they're chokers. So, yeah, make it a vlog channel. Yeah, probably better off doing that. Should have followed your father's counsel, bro. Liverpool was there for the taking. I went against the grain. You know, he followed Liverpool really because of John Barnes and the Jamaica connection. And I was like, yeah, but I love the way Arsenal play football. Ian Wright, he's got a gold tooth. And Bergkamp turned up. I said, that's me. And look at this. But anyway, as Michael Jackson once famously said, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. And Arsenal have to have a look in the mirror. To be honest, Tottenham's success last night, it has to act as motivation for us as a football club. If it doesn't, then nothing ever will. Nothing ever will. You guys know my opinion on the manager. You know where I'm at with the manager. I'd be moving him on right now. But he's going to be here. He has to win trophies next season. I don't care. I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't care about injuries. I don't care about win the dog. I don't care about PGMOL. I don't care about any of that. I'm sick of the sympathy vote. We're a big club. They need to start acting like it. Anyway, big up my bro Akeem. We have to focus on ourselves. It's annoying, but it's not that deep. Spurs are still bums. And as I said, it's not really them. It's us. You know when you break up with like your girlfriend and you say, oh, it's not you, it's me. You know, this ain't right for me right now. It's not Tottenham. It's Arsenal that are bothering me. Them winning that trophy made me look at Arsenal like, hang on a minute. I've seen Olympiacos knock us out of the Europa League. Right? Last minute winning goals in extra time. I've seen Sporting Lisbon lob Aaron Ramsdale from about 45 yards. That was Amorim, by the way. And I've seen, who's the other team? Emery. Villarreal in a semi-final at the Emirates. I mean, that Europa League, people saying, oh, it's only the Europa League and that, but we couldn't even get near it. And then Baku. The butchering we got in Baku. Chris, Man United fan, he said, Curtis, I'm broken. These players are criminals. Sell them all. United keeping hammering, unfortunately. I'll be honest, right? United are in an absolute mess. And I'm saying this genuinely. With a little smirk. But they are a mess. They were an absolute disgrace last night. I was angry about United's performance, and I don't even like United. The tactics were absolutely horrendous. The players didn't turn up. Garnacho was probably their best player in that last 15 minutes. He went past Porro about 3 times. The substitutions were a joke. He had Bruno playing deep line playmaker. He had an absolute shocker. Højlund, that's one of the worst striker performances I've ever seen in my life. Oh, man, it was bad. United are the worst. This is the worst Man United team I've ever seen in my life. Ever. In school, I was desperate for that. So, anyway. Marcel said, what if Spurs win the Super Cup? It don't bear thinking about. It really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. For United, it's 100% the players, to be honest. They're on too much money and don't care. I still think that manager's got a lot to answer for as well. Let's have a look at this. I just wanted to play this little clip that I saw this morning, because I just want there to be a wake-up call within the Arsenal fan base. This was Merson.
Won a trophy. That's what it's all about, in my opinion. When you finish playing football, it's what you've won in the game. You know, your grandchildren sit on your lap and they go, "What did you win, Granddad?" You know, and Tottenham players now, we go, I won the Europa League. I won a European trophy. Not sat on their lap and go, "Yeah, I finished fifth and I finished fourth and I finished third." They won a trophy.
When your grandchildren sit on your lap and they say, "Granddad, what did you win?" You say, "I won a trophy." That is the aim of the game, people. And people seem to have forgotten what football is about, because there's so many other things nowadays that we get blindsided by because of Sky Sports and TNT Sports. And they do these adverts. The race for the Champions League this Sunday as Forest face Chelsea. We never heard about that 20 years ago. If you made top four, you made top four. Nobody celebrated. We know financially it can help the club and maybe you can attract a better player, but it wasn't something that we celebrated. Did you win? And if you didn't, what can you do to enable you to win? When you went sports day, you came home, mum said, "Yo, did you win?" "No, I came for, yeah, not interested, cooking dinner." "Yeah, but mum, do you know what happened? I was winning at 40 meters and, you know, the ground was a little bit uneven and my left ankle kind of rolled over a little bit. And then Tommy in lane 7, you know, because he had the running trainers and I was wearing Air Force Ones and they're a bit heavy. You know, I couldn't quite keep up with him for the remaining 60 meters. And then, yeah, I got taken over by Scott as well at the last minute, but I didn't really care as long as I made the top 3. Nah, not interested. You didn't win, do better next year." Simple as that. It's all about trophies. Even me at the levels I played at, yo, go to mum's house, get in the cupboard, get the box out. Yo, you see this trophy here? I won that because of that. I scored in that cup final. I was on the bench for that. This happened, that. Trophy, trophy, trophy. You don't pull out the box out the cupboard and there's nothing in it and you go, "Oh yeah, but I know there's nothing in the box, but I did finish second 3 times. We did come runners up. We did compete. I tried my best." You're right, Chris. The generation has changed. Nowadays, in sport, winning and ambition, it frightens people. Winning and ambition, it frightens people. Now, people might think, "Well, why do you think that?" And I'll tell you why. Because winning and ambition means consequences and accountability when things go wrong. If you're ambitious and you're aiming for the top, if you don't make the top, there will be consequences in elite sport. Nowadays, they will put up things like Arsenal made £100 million out of the Champions League this season. That's supposed to be our comfort, because then what fans start doing is think, well, we made 100 million out of the Champions League, so we can spend 65 million on Gyökeres and, you know, go and spend 80 million on Rodrygo, and we start doing the mathematics again. But we've been here before. We thought we were signing Karim Benzema. We thought we were signing Luis Suarez. We thought we were signing Higuain, Draxler, Yann Villa, William Carvalho, Kante. We've been here. We sit here every year and get the war chest stories. It's a round and round. It's a roundabout, constant roundabout of disappointment, and then they cover it up and then we go again. Because as a football fan, you're full of hope. So when the new season starts, when the new kit comes out, when you're linked to new players, you start to believe. That's what a fan does. It's natural. You put last season out of your mind. You go, right, let me deal with where we are. We're in the Champions League. We're not a bad team. We're being linked with exciting players, Rodrygo, Gyökeres, all these guys. And we're thinking in our head, if we get Rodrygo on the left, then we've got Gyökeres through the middle. We've already got Saka. We're going to get Zubimendi. With that defence and the goalkeeper, we can win the lot. But when have you as an Arsenal fan ever sat there at the start of a summer, seen the players that we've been linked with, got excited, and by the end of the summer had those players. I don't remember any summer transfer window as an Arsenal fan where I've come out of the window and gone, we got everyone I thought that we needed. We fixed everything. It's always, we didn't quite have enough. I saw a story last night from somebody saying Arsenal might go bigger for the left winger than the striker if they think a unique opportunity has presented itself, i.e. Rodrygo. So now, we were all sitting here thinking, we need Rodrygo and Gyökeres. But now are they going, right, because Rodrigo's going to cost 70, 80 million, because he's on 200 grand a week, and we're going to have to give him 250, 260, 300 grand, that then means maybe we can't go 70, 80 million on the striker at 200 grand, so maybe we get a cheaper striker. It's always give with one hand and take with the other with Arsenal. And that is the problem. Now, obviously, Berta's here. We're putting our hopes on him that he can fix the problems. But I wouldn't totally be confident that they're going to fix both of those issues. There's no excuse, but don't be totally convinced that they are. Anyway, I've waffled like Arteta today. We're 19 minutes in. I haven't started any stories or anything. But let me get into these super chats, then we'll get into it. Forever gonna talk to me when your club has 14 FA Cups. I mean, yeah, FA Cups are great, but 5 years since we won one and we weren't even in the stadium for that. Gunnar Carlos said, you seriously would go through what Tottenham or Man U fans went through this season instead of what we did. Those fans go through misery every week, bar one. Do you know what, Gunnar Carlos? I'll put it like this. Their season, overall, like when you break down their season, it's a worse season than ours, right? They've had 21 defeats. That is horrendous. I can't even imagine what that feels like. That's more than half your games. But I genuinely believe that winning a trophy, and especially what the Europa League is going to be to them, I think that's bigger than anything that we've done this season. If you said to me, okay, we're not in the Europa League, but my fondest memory in recent years of Arsenal, if you said in recent years, what's your best game of Arsenal? It's going to be Arsenal beating Chelsea in the FA Cup final, Aubameyang chipping the goalkeeper. It's not beating Real Madrid. It's not beating Manchester City. It's none of them games. Not even Reece Nelson, Bournemouth last minute. The winning of the trophy is bigger than all of those games to me. So your point is fine. I get it. Of course, I wouldn't want Arsenal to go through 21 defeats and finish 16th in the league. That's a nightmare. But I've never seen Arsenal win a European trophy. I was a baby when they won them trophies in the early 90s, so I don't remember watching them. I saw the highlights. I would love to see Arsenal win a trophy. We were in the Europa League for years. I was desperate. I was going mental when we were winning those games in the build-up to them finals. So I want trophies. I want trophies at Arsenal. Arteta, I usually win things in my 7th season. Yeah, they change the year now every year. Trophies shouldn't be the measuring stick. Supporting Arsenal is all about togetherness, memories, quotes from Twitter top gooners. If trophies don't matter, why do they care if Spurs win it? People forget it's a sport. It's not a get-together. It is about trophies. You're right, SG. Forever Gunner, bro, we are the new banter team because we are the only club in the Big Six with the longest trophy drought. Yeah? You got to think now. Tottenham have won the Europa. We've seen Chelsea win a Champions League in the last few years. We've seen Liverpool win a Champions League, Premier League, and domestic cups as well. United have won the 2 domestic cups in the last few years. Mourinho won the Europa. City have won everything. So, it's just us, people. It's just us messing around. Bold with Beard Gaming, big up, you gifted a membership to the community. Ricky said Spurs being called Spicy Arsenal yesterday was a low for me this season. Hail the journey and experienced managers, our club is doomed. Big up Ricky. And Marco said, can't stand this, give Arteta more time, as if we're already not 21 years behind schedule on winning the league. Is yours gold though? Like, give me a break. Listen, I said yesterday, that gold trophy might have been a gift and a curse. because it was so amazing what we achieved. I feel like it diminished the hunger to go and get more. And we settled in a situation where it was like, well, if we haven't, it's only been 3 years. You know, we were invincible 3 years ago. It's only been 5 years. We'll sort it out. You know, it's invincible. 7 years, 10 years, before you know it, 20 years. You ain't seen one since. Leicester, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, City, all these teams, champions, you know, champions. But the gold thing doesn't really it don't do it for me no more. I'll be real. I love the fact that we achieved that, but that don't hold enough weight for me anymore, saying we won a gold trophy. You know what I mean? I'm not on that. Anyway, let's move on. They won the Europa League. It was a terrible game, but they got it. It fell into place for them. Sometimes I think things are just meant to be, and for them it was meant to be. What made me more annoyed watching United last night is how the hell did they knock us out of the FA Cup? How the hell did we lose to that Man United team at home and they had 10 men? They are absolutely the worst Man United team I've seen in my life. I was watching them thinking, we lost to these lot. Incredible. And that manager, but listen, I'm not interested in their pain. We got enough to deal with. It's the Truman Show. It's the real life Truman Show. Anyway, let's move on. I'm not even going to really focus on that game last night. I think I said more than enough about it. So we'll check out some of the transfer rumours and then finish off with waffle settings, which is going to be painful because I've seen some of the quotes already. If there is going to be some sort of positive knock-on effect of them winning last night, it better be, because a lot of people were in the chat saying this last night, it better be that this guy Gyökeres ends up in an Arsenal shirt. Because let me tell, there was a lot of people in the chat, yeah, but listen, now United have lost, we'll definitely get Gyökeres. We better. I'm telling you, and it might not just be United. I told you, Liverpool are being linked with him. I think Darwin's going to get sold. They'll have money. Seb Nonda said, on Gyökeres to Arsenal, Manchester United had hoped to convince Gyökeres with Champions League qualification. Now it's going to be tough to compete with Arsenal. We better get this guy. But as I said, I'm not totally convinced. I hope, I really do. But something about that Sesko just concerns me. Because the way I dress it up, and again, this could be the PTSD as an Arsenal fan, people. This is how I'm dressing it up to make it feel like we might not get him. Is because Sesko doesn't have the profile of Gyökeres in terms of... Gyökeres is probably one of the hottest strikers in Europe in terms of his goal record. I'm just looking at it. When you hear him talk about Havertz, you can tell that he loves him. Oh, look at the way he's come back, how big he's got, and the fitness levels, blah, blah, blah. I think if you buy Gyökeres, Havertz is done. If you buy Sesko, you might get away with being able to rotate them both. And I think that is the best case scenario in Arteta's mind. Because he loves Kai Havertz. I hope it's not right. But, you know. Seth said, negative channel, unsubscribing now. You know what? Before you unsubscribe, Seth, do me a favour. Hold that, fam. Hold that. Other channels are available. I'll save you the trouble. If you want butterflies, if you want roses in the field, if you want people holding hands, walking, win the dog, telling you how great everything is, be patient, guys. Be patient. We will be there eventually, guys. We've got Super Mick Arteta. He hasn't got a clue what we need. Kivior at the back. Havertz in attack. We've never ever won the Champions League. If you want to hear that, other channels are available, my friend. Other channels are available. They can give you what you need out of life. They can give you what you need. The fact you subscribe to this channel, you should have known that this was a hard-talking channel to have even subscribed. So at this stage, to be unsubscribing, I'm surprised you haven't done it sooner, to be honest. Anyway. We need the truth, people. We need the truth. We need the truth. The truth can get uncomfortable. Lady said, do you not believe in Berta? I believe in Berta. What I don't know is how much control he will have. Only the truth will set you free, people. Do you know that? Only the truth will set you free. A soft lie or a harsh truth. You're much better with a harsh truth. At least you know where you stand. That's what we need, people. We need the truth. That's the only way we will rescue this club. Massive season next season for sure. Gyökeres, we need to see him at the club next season. We need to see him at the club. The truth heals, exactly. We're all in pain right now as Arsenal fans. Where's our cup final? Where's our trophy parade? Where's our joy at the end of the season? No, Southampton away this Sunday. That is going to be on the small screen. My watch along this Sunday is going to be Chelsea against Forest, race for the top 4. I'm going to do a Sky Sports. Well, let me read this one. And listen, I want to make it clear. This channel, you're always welcome to have a debate, an argument, and disagree with me. I'm not one of them. I'm not like you. Oh, if you don't agree with me, you're getting blocked. But just don't put foolishness like Seth. Seth, enjoy yourself. And Sanjay's having an argument. Here, let's have a go. He said, sorry, Curtis, that doesn't make sense. Why would Arteta emphasise winning over playing Havertz? Does Havertz have Arteta's family kidnapped? Because for me, signing him for 65 mil and giving him 250k makes no sense. My point is with Havertz is that I think he's so invested in him. Financially, emotionally, you can see the way he talks about him. He loves him. This is the guy that when he scored a tap-in at Brentford, he's pointing, look, applaud him. He's a hero. After waiting about 5 months for him to actually do something decent for us. I just don't think he can get out of that situation easily. Who's going to buy him? Probably no one. Unless you heavily reduce his price and pay part of his wages. He wants to justify that deal. And I just think if he puts him on the bench, he's putting his hands up and saying, I got it all wrong. I made him top earner. I paid 65 mil. Now he's sitting on the bench. I messed up. So I think he will try and get him in that team somewhere. Harvey said, me and Curtis have had a few back and forths. If it's respectfully, we'll debate your point. Yeah, bro, we've had loads of debates on it. You know what I mean? You've said, I don't agree with it. It's calm. Arteta is a youth team manager. I started that in the beginning, and I stand by it, says Salman. Akara said, 9 Premier League teams have won a trophy since our FA Cup. That's half the league. We are now the Big 6 team whose last trophy is furthest away, yeah? We are now the trophy drought club. Can we get a Sean Dyche in prep? Listen, mate, I won more trophies than Arteta, right? I won the championship with Burnley. He could never win the championship with Burnley. He'd be in League One if it was up to him. Wheat bricks, wheat wood, wheat concrete. Anyway, Guna Genk, the fan base will blame Berta before Arteta. We're putting our faith in Berta to rescue us, you know. But how much power will he have? Canadian Guna, if I see Sesko this window playing next to Kai next season, I will stop watching Arsenal. Go over his 33 signings. How many are successful? I think when we evaluated that, we were said about 9 of them had been good signings. But yeah. That's where we're at. What else have we got? Rodrygo. Listen, I love Rodrygo. I hope we sign him, but I'll probably end up talking about him for the next month. Linking us. We're close. We're closer than close. We're so close that we can smell what aftershave he's wearing. That will be the link for the next month. They will reword this same story about 40 times in the next month. Rodrygo's agents contacted Arsenal to offer the player's services. Arsenal were immediately interested. Whoop-de-doo! Brilliant. Has he signed? No. Okay. We agreed a deal with Real Madrid, a price? No. Okay. Until I start seeing them things, let's stay calm. I wonder if we can make a signing of this level until we release a few players. Our wage bill is high. I think we're definitely interested in Rodrygo. I think Rodrygo would be interested in coming to Arsenal. I just think that a few things will need to happen. because he's on big wages. And I think a lot of other clubs would look at him as well. There's rumours today that Jack Grealish is going to leave Manchester City. If you look at City, that only really leaves Doku on the left, unless they want to play Savio on the left, who tends to play on the right. So I think maybe, and you've got to look, okay, our wage bill isn't as high as it was when Aubameyang and that was there, but you've got to remember that they're in talks with Trossard about a new deal, Partey about a new deal, Gabriel, Saliba, and Saka. That's 5 big players that are going to probably end up getting pay rises and signing on fees and all those things as well. So we can't get rid of Jesus. We can't get rid of Tomiyasu, because they're out until the second part of the year, so no one's going to buy them injured. So what Arsenal have got to do is get moving. Zinchenko needs to be sold. Jorginho and Tierney will obviously be released, and Neto and Raheem Sterling, their loans will be ending and they won't be signed. I would be getting rid of players like Kai Havertz, but obviously it's just not going to happen with this manager. Listen, Rodrygo for me would be a fantastic signing. I've got a couple of videos coming out next week. One regarding left wingers that we could get. One regarding strikers that we could get. Different price points, different levels of availability. One thing that I want to happen out of what occurred yesterday. Yesterday was a huge negative. It was going to be either way. If Man United won, they want to stop talking. They're loud. We know loads of Man United fans. If Tottenham win, it's the noisy neighbours down the road parading through North London. It was lose-lose. But Arsenal have to take something out of this situation. It's got to make this club wake up. We're close. We're not actually banter club in terms of our performances on the pitch. Nobody's embarrassing us on the football pitch. We lost to PSG. They're one of the best teams in Europe. We lost to Luis Enrique. I think he's a fantastic manager. One of the managers that I would have taken at Arsenal. When you look at it, our attack is not that good outside of Saka. You know, we got to a Champions League semi-final with Marino up front, Martinelli and Trossard on the left. On paper, we're not actually an amazing football team. And I'm not using copium, I'm just being honest here. But the frustration is, we're a good team that aren't winning silverware. In the last 3 seasons, we've been in 12 different competitions, 12 different trophies, 4 different competitions, and we haven't won any of them. Even if you can't win the Champions League, win the Premier League. If you can't win the Premier League, win the FA Cup. If you can't win the FA Cup, win the Carabao Cup. Because sometimes I genuinely believe to win the Premier League, to win the Champions League, you need to win the Carabao Cup. You need to win the FA Cup again. Because these players at Arsenal, Odegaard's, Saliba's, these guys have not won a trophy as Arsenal players. It's important to go to Wembley in that big stadium in front of the fans, win the FA Cup, walk up the steps, gold medal, lift the trophy. Wow, what feeling. This is what winning feels like. It changes you mentally when you win. Sometimes you don't know how to win. Sometimes you need to leave clubs to win, which is my concern with the Salibas, the Sakas, the Gabriels, the Declan Rice. You can't have a situation where in 2 years or a year, these guys go, I can't win here. This isn't the place to win. It's a good team. It's a big club, but I'm not winning. Kane had to leave Tottenham to go and win. Now, they actually won without him, but he went to Bayern to win the league. So the only positive that needs to come out of this situation is Arsenal need to look in the mirror and say, something isn't quite right here. We're a good team, but where's the success? Where is the silverware? Now, I think a lot of the problem, 2 of the biggest problems is, number one, I don't think the owners are putting big pressure on the manager because I think they're making a lot of money. 100 million we made this year from the Champions League. They're making money. They're looking at plans to extend the stadium from 60 to 80,000. That's going to cost millions and millions and millions of pounds, right? So their thought process is, right, Instead of 60,000 fans in the stadium spending a fortune, buying merch, buying the overpriced food and drink, let's get 80,000 fans in the stadium, buying the merch, spending money on overpriced food and drink. So it shows you where their mindset is. How can we make more money out of this business? Now we will see this summer how serious they are in the transfer market. We will see how much power Andrea Berta has when you see the first signing. The first signing will probably be Zubimendi already done. If we sign Gyökeres, I can say, right, Berta's had a big influence on Arteta. If we sign Sesko, you know who's still pulling the strings, who's having the final decision. Because they've told us that Berta wants Gyökeres. He wanted him at Atletico Madrid. So my thing out of this situation is, listen, Tottenham have won it. It's going to hurt. We're frustrated. We should feel frustrated. Turning on Sky Sports, watching them lifting a trophy. They're going to do a parade tomorrow. That is not going to be good to watch. But this football club have to start winning. Now, some people might think, yeah, but what does a Carabao Cup do moving forward? Does that change the way we see the manager, see this? People have to remember, this is a new manager. He's only won one trophy. He didn't even get to celebrate that trophy with the fans because it was during lockdown. Mourinho came to this country, made a point of winning that Carabao Cup. Pep came to this country, won the Carabao Cup. Look how many times he won that Carabao Cup. It gives you that building block. You win it in February. So if you've won a cup in February, you're like, yo, where's the next one? Let's go, title. Let's go and get the bigger one now. I've got that feeling for winning trophies. So I think the mentality has to shift. The mentality has to shift. Big up Alan, who said congrats on 94k. Big up to you guys. You guys make it happen, so I appreciate that. Let's yes, obviously push towards 100k. We're only 6k off now. They basically gave up in January, yeah. And look at Mamouche at City. Mamouche, really, when you look at City, people go, City spent 200 million in January. But really, Mamouche is the only player that they signed that is playing every week. The others are young players that they're going to bed into that squad and give them time. The two centre-backs and the midfielder, Nico. Look how good Mamouche is. For what do they pay, 65 million? Look at, why didn't we sign Mamouche? Why didn't we sign Asensio? Why didn't we sign Rashford? Why didn't we sign Kvaratskhelia? All market opportunities, 2 loans and 2 quality players that cost 60 million. So there was no excuse. There was no excuse. They could have made something happen. They didn't want to spend no money. Dot said, the only thing we're lifting are the puppies from Wins Litter. Family portrait already dropped too. Check your email. Big up to you, man. It wouldn't surprise me, man. Wouldn't surprise me. Oh, guys, welcome to Wins Babies. Brian said, would you take an FA Cup and 8th or 2nd and no trophies? Give me the FA Cup. Realistically, when you're 2nd and win nothing, and 8th and win an FA Cup, as a club, of course, you're going to take the positive that you're 2nd and you're close to finishing 1st. And I understand that. But if it keeps happening and happening and happening, I had more fun winning the FA Cup than I've had this season. These last 3 years of finishing 2nd and winning all them big games, but ending with nothing, winning that FA Cup final against Chelsea, seeing Aubameyang chip that goalkeeper, that to me was better than anything I've had in the last 3 seasons. Because everything that's happened over the last 3 seasons has all ended up with disappointment. When you win a trophy, there's no disappointment at the end of it. I watched my team in a final win silverware. You can't turn your nose up at that. And I think that's a big problem nowadays, that we don't place enough importance on winning trophies. So for me, I want the trophies. Sparsh said it's going to get harder. Chelsea and City will fight for titles, whereas for Arsenal, business as usual. We run like a business, maximum revenue, resource, and use, overplay the squad, hire no one. Listen, I understand it's a multi-billion-pound business. You don't buy a football club to lose money. However, when you have 30, 40, 50, however many millions of fans around the world, you also have a responsibility to try your best to win within financial reason. Now, when they sat there in January, when we were still in the title race, when Jesus was injured, Saka was injured, Havertz got injured a few weeks later. They decided to do nothing as a football club. So that told everybody in the world that they weren't serious about winning. They said to Arteta, muddle through with what you've got. We'll talk in the summer. But what about now? We're in a title race. We're in the Champions League. We're still in the FA Cup. Should we try and do something now? Don't worry about the summer. Why can't we accelerate a transfer from summer to January? I saw a story that Liverpool were going to sign Luis Diaz in the summer. Tottenham agreed a fee with Porto in January. Liverpool decided to accelerate the deal from summer to January to not let him go to Tottenham. So they moved money from their summer budget to January to get the deal done. Why couldn't we get a striker in January and get the deal done? Try and win the league. Striker might have won us the Champions League. We could be sitting here this week going, you know what? We spent 80 million on Gyökeres in January and we beat PSG over 2 legs. Champions League final next week. But they said, just muddle through with it. See how you get on, Mikel. That's not a serious ownership. And CFC said, Big C, the Arsenal fan base is in meltdown even though they haven't played yesterday. Proved that it's all about trophies and nothing else. Because you know what? No matter how much PR you put on it, no matter how much compilations you put online, no matter how much interviews they all do, no matter how much progress they tell us, nothing will fix it like winning a trophy. Winning trophies is the pinnacle of football. There's nothing better. No feeling better, nothing better. All my hard work led to this. Look, I'm holding up silverware. You can't dress it up any other way with, we've got more points. We got further in this competition. But did you win? Yeah, but we got more points than Liverpool. We'd have won the title last season. We would have won it this season with that points tally. But did you win? No. That's all that matters. You didn't win. And we've actually regressed this season in the league. We've scored less goals and got less points. Big C, you going on pre-season tour? Probably. I've made plans to go. To be honest, I'm not that motivated to go this year. I do speak quite openly with the community because you guys take your time and you give me your time and energy on this channel. So I always say the same. I'll be honest, I'm lacking motivation this year to go on the tour. The tours are a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of expense. I do like it, the access, the press conference, the conversation, meeting the players, but I've done it for the last 3 years in America. At the moment, I don't feel that hyped to go on the tour. So I'm a little bit 50-50 whether I'm going to go. I've got the time sorted. I've got it's there ready to go. But this year, I'm just a bit like 14-hour flight, expensive flights, expensive accommodation, 3rd year with no trophy, speaking to Arteta in a press conference again. He's going to give me the politician answer. I'm just a little bit like in 2 minds whether it's worth it. Do I just stay at home, chill, and just do watch-alongs for the game? I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know whether I'll be there or not. We got Arsenal fans serenading Mikel wanting to have his babies to Marvin's room. To the F are we doing here? Somebody sent me a clip of that guy singing that in the clip. What is wrong with these? I don't know what the world's coming to. Guy singing a Marvin's Room record of Mikel Arteta. It's a different universe, people. I'm telling you. They don't know about LimeWire and MSN Messenger and free calls after 6 on Diamond Cable. I'm telling you, they ain't got a clue. Harvey Specter, for me, it's on the owners. Simply, their priority should be to have available any or all funds, structure needed to get the targets the club needs to win. I feel like Berta is the last hope. Have they changed their mentality? Have they hired a win now director of football to say, Mikel, you've done well. We see the progression. We see the money, but we need the trophies now. LA Rams won. Denver Nuggets won. They're winning all other sports, but you guys need to win something. Because surely when you're a big billionaire with all that money, you want bragging rights as well. Liverpool have got American owners who they probably know who are going to say, yeah, just won the Prem. What have you won? Surely that would bother you as a billionaire and go, what? Let me flex on these guys. I got more money than them. Let me go and spend 300 million and win the Prem so I can shut them up. Surely they have some financial pride as well to say, yo. But yeah, we will see. We will see. Take your family on a good holiday. Yeah, that happens regardless, bro. You know what I mean? That will happen regardless. We definitely have a good break at the end of the season. Let's see what this sniper said. Curtis, you're being disingenuous. Do you not think Arteta wants to win? Maybe the board knew Berta was coming in, so cancelled the plans. Edu dropped the ball in the summer, hence why he has gone. First of all, though, sniper, and listen, you've been in the community for a long time, so big up. We've got no evidence that Edu dropped the ball. Because I can tell you now, and I'm not defending Edu because, listen, he has to take flack for a lot of them transfers as well. There is a very different narrative coming from that side of the argument that Edu left because power was being taken away from him and that he didn't have as much control of transfers. So it's very easy to go, Edu left, so let's blame him for Havertz and all the bad transfers. I think they're both equally at blame for a lot of those bad transfers. In terms of Arteta, listen, I think you can sit there and say in January, the club didn't give him what he wanted. He said publicly he wanted a striker. But then my pushback to that would be, bro, he spent 40 million on a centre-back and played him at left-back in the summer, who doesn't even make it into our strongest team at the moment, in Calafiori. He then spent 35 million on Marino, who's been a disaster in midfield, who actually did well up front, but if our strikers were fit, he wouldn't have played up front. So he could have bought a striker in the summer. And he bought Kai Havertz for 65 million and made him the top earner. They are horrendous bits of business. So he can definitely say, January, they let me down. But I can say, you've let yourself down multiple times. Do you think after finishing second, they sat there and said, get me Sterling? No, but as I said, bro, look at it like this. We spent over 200 million, not last summer, the summer before. Arsenal were never going to go 200 million again the following summer. We can all see the way Arsenal do business. We're not that club. We don't go 200 mil, 200 mil, 200 mil. Clearly, by the way we did business the summer gone, they must have said to him, you had a big summer last year with Havertz, Rice, Timber, Rayo. This summer, you're going to barely get 100 million. So you're going to need to be smart and buy what you really need. Maybe you can get a couple of cheap loans at the end. So once again, if you wanted a quality winger, you should have spent the Calafiori money on a winger or the Marino money on a winger. You had no money left, so you had to get Neto and Sterling at the end on loan. So again, you can't go shop, spend your money, and then go, oh, actually, I didn't buy the things that I really needed. That's your fault. So that's his fault. That's his fault again, and the facts are there, bro. The facts are there. But anyway, Harvey said, I read that one. And Coach Montero, do you think Rodrygo or Saka could play 10 and go to another level? Also, this new format in the Europa League is very weak. Yeah, listen, Tottenham benefited from it, but the formats have changed a number of times over the years. So, yeah, it benefited them having no Champions League dropouts, but you still got to give them their credit. They're 17th in the Prem. So we're looking at Tottenham going, they've had an easy run. Look at the teams they've played against. Other clubs would have been going, yo, Tottenham in the next round of the Europa League. Eintracht Frankfurt with Ekatike. You would have said, I reckon Frankfurt will knock Tottenham out. Tottenham are 17th. Frankfurt have got Ekatike. They're doing all right in the German league. Second legs in Germany. So I hear you. Definitely weaker, but you've still got to give them their credit. We lost to Olympiacos. And I don't rate Olympiacos. So Iron said, in the Republic of South Africa, our rivals, the All Blacks, are revered by us. If we don't win, I want them to win. That's rivalry. I don't get the hate for Tottenham. I think it's just different because they're just like the noisy, annoying neighbours, and they talk with a lot of chest without success. There's a lot of things I think you got to look at. And again, I don't want to make this something different, but just for example, when Arsenal play Tottenham, right, there have been a lot of occasions where Arsenal fans are being attacked outside the stadium. I've been to games where they're bottling fans. They're throwing glass bottles at fans. So I don't know what the South African New Zealand All Blacks rivalry is like if you play each other in a stadium. They're throwing bottles at Arsenal fans. The fans are fighting each other outside the stadium. They racially abused Aubameyang at the Emirates when they threw banana skins on the pitch. That I don't know what that rivalry is like in rugby, but it ain't the same as it is in football. That those two, it ain't no friendly rivalry. It really isn't. Fans in rugby drink together. Yeah, it seems a lot more controlled, you know? So I don't know. I don't know what it's like. To be honest, I've never been to a rugby match, so I'm not sure. Bleck said, big up Big C in the community, 94k, road to 100. Big up yourself, Bleck. Big up all of you locked in, 2.5k tuned in today. And I have to say thank you to you guys for getting me to 94k, because without your support, it doesn't happen. Deep Blue Sea said he's South African. He doesn't agree with what Iron Brian has said. Listen, I went to Tottenham away when we played at Wembley, when Aubameyang missed that penalty in the last minute. I went to Wembley because I thought, you know what, it's at Wembley, it'll be calmer than White Hart Lane. White Hart Lane is... it can get hot when you come out of there as an Arsenal fan, I can't lie. And I thought, I'll go Wembley. I came out of Wembley and I saw about a couple of hundred Arsenal and Tottenham fans just fighting as soon as I came out, just scrapping, come on, bottles, every. I said, Ross, we're at Wembley. We're not even in Tottenham, and look people were getting bottled and all sorts. I said, nah, this ain't no little friendly rivalry. It can spill over. It can definitely spill over. Anyway, let's finish off with some waffle. I don't want to leave the community hungry. The cult leader. Yeah, I mean, I did that video the other day. If you haven't watched that, go and have a look. We spoke about Arteta and his cult following. And it's real. It's real, man. He's got to get it right this season. He's got to get it right this season. We can't go through this again. We can't. We have to be successful next season. The team doesn't even need a lot, but it's got to be quality over quantity. Get a quality left winger, quality striker. Get some competition for Odegaard. Let's hear what he had to say. Apparently, this was a very long press conference. So if he waffles, we'll skip. Big up to all of you, man. Listen, I'm a little bit more positive today. I'm a little bit more positive. It's just like Tottenham won a trophy. It's not good. You've taken away a lot of banter as well. You know, all them videos, top Spur, what's that? And, you know, days without a trophy and all that. You've took that away from us. But I think we've still got to remember who we are. And some people will say there's copium attached to this, but we have to find solutions. You know, problems, if you wallow in problems, you never get over them. We do have to move on, and we do have to find a solution, and we do have to build. Ultimately, we're the big brother, right? We're the big club. We've won Prems. They've sat there and watched us win multiple trophies over the years. And while they're winning nothing, they've won a Europa League. It's disgusting to watch. I'll be honest, like, it's an absolute disgrace. And that parade tomorrow, oh my days. I'm staying out of North London tomorrow, but we have got to deal with ourselves. We've got to deal with ourselves. We've got to sign the right players and win trophies, and there has to be consequences if we don't. That's the only way we're going to move forward. Because for me, one of the biggest problems is there's too many people too comfortable at this football club. And I think when you are going to win major trophies and be really successful, people are driven by knowing that they can't let the standards slip. The example is, you look at Martin Odegaard this season, multiple bad performances this season in big games. Has there been any consequences? No. No consequences whatsoever for him. So he plays bad again, he plays bad again, and he still gets picked. Arteta is comfortable. He knows, I've got top 4, didn't win a trophy, I'll still be here next season. He's joking about holidays, he's joking about next season. No pressure. No pressure on him. There has to be pressure put on these guys. By the way, there is a bit of breaking news. Not good news. I don't know how true this is. It's coming out of Spain. Rodrygo is sure that he can gain Xabi Alonso's trust and be a crucial figure for Real Madrid. Only if Xabi Alonso tells him there is no place, then he will consider leaving. Otherwise, he is staying. And let's be honest, if you're Xabi Alonso walking into Real Madrid, why would you get rid of Rodrygo? He's 24 and he's quality. And he's extremely difficult to replace because the right-wing market is trash. Now, I don't know if this is a good source. Maybe we can still get him, but... And listen, maybe the club, because I did read that Madrid told Xabi Alonso that he couldn't sign Zubimendi. It's a club decision and that he doesn't really have a say. But, listen, anybody in the chat, how good a source is this... Diari, oh, it's AS. So they're quite a big publication, actually. So, anyway, there you go. Don't get your hopes up with Rodrygo. Hey, let's see. Back to Nico Williams, who I don't want, by the way. Anyway, let's get into waffle settings. I think, was it South London Finest just said this is an interesting press conference? I mean, that'll make it a first because not many of them are interesting. I did see some of his quotes. What an exciting game, people. Southampton against Arsenal. Wow. Bottom of the league, relegated Southampton against No Pressure FC, No Trophies FC Arsenal. Live from St. Mary's. The game is not even on television. VPN settings. But like I said, I'll have the game on. So if you tune in for the watch along, my focus is going to be on Forest against Chelsea. That's the biggest game in the Prem this weekend. But we'll have that on in the background. The Ramsdale derby, relegated for the 3rd time in his career. Crazy. Anyway. The match will have us on it. We'll probably win 5-0. We'll look like a dream. No Pressure FC. Let's get into this waffle. You know the drill. If he waffles, we're skipping. On the team news, Jurian had surgery on Tuesday on his ankle. He's been feeling that discomfort for many, many weeks, navigating through the season with that issue, and it needed to be resolved. He's going to be out for a while. Wow. And Saliba, he felt something in his hamstring in the first half, just before half-time. Again, he's going to be out for a few weeks. Coman music, the final pre-match waffle settings of the 24-25 season. On the timeline for Timber's injury, we don't know yet. It will depend on recovery. It will be weeks. We don't know exactly how much. Hopefully, it will be somewhere near pre-season if everything goes well. On Saliba, he said a few weeks. On Havertz, return. He's back. You could tell, remember he said weeks, by the way, with Tomiyasu, but it was 52 weeks. You could tell how excited he was. He's been working so hard. I think he's done great with the medical staff to get back in shape. And in the form that he is at the moment, he was desperate to contribute. I'm pretty happy to see him back. Pretty happy. Listen, I won't say anything. I'm glad he's back from injury, but my reason that I'm glad he's back from injury is because I want to sell him in the summer. On if there's any update on Partey's future, there's some question marks on them, so we'll have to wait and see. We still have another Premier League match on Sunday. We have some time to sit down, finalise a few things that have to be done. In regards to Thomas, I think consistency-wise, it's been his best season. I think the way he's played and performed, his availability has been exceptional, and he's important. I do get the impression Arteta very much wants Partey to stay. Curtis, people are saying we need to be at the right place to win an FA Cup. Even Palace won one, so you don't need to be that great. Eddie Nketiah lifted one. On if signing Ray was one of the best decisions we made, he said we made decisions with that intention at the time. It was a very unpopular one. There was so much pressure on it to get it done, but I think we have to feel... our gut, and we have to be very analytical what we think is necessary to improve the team, to take the team to a different level. David has been consistent, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, let's skip it. He's waffling. Yeah, you wanted Ramsdale out. You wanted Ray. Ray has been a very good signing. Just don't get him 40 yards off his goal line. How much clarity he'll have in his mind about next season after enjoying time off. I can imagine the moment you described. So probably what I would do when I'm done, I pick up the phone, I call you and tell you how I feel. Now exactly is not the best moment to do it, and I don't feel it in a way to do it. I have quite a clear picture, but I need a few more things to then have real clarity and analysis and describe the season with the right words, because I know that's going to be very, very important. So we got more waffle to look forward to after the Southampton game. On the most important thing about getting next season right, oh, look how long that answer is, man. Alignment, everybody at the end, we all feel the same way. It's not just a dream. I have a dream that one day this team will lift the trophies. I've been to the mountaintop. Mikel Luther King, people. It's not just a dream, or it's not just something you want to do. It's that we have everything that is needed to do that. We don't have enough, people. 750 million. We do not have enough, but Palace had enough with Eddie Nketiah and players signed from the Championship. Tottenham had enough with no Bergvall, no Kulusevski, Son on the bench, no James Maddison. They had enough, but we don't have enough, people. I am not reading all that. I'm just not doing it. I can see it already. I'm not doing it. The availability, the referees, the schedule. Yeah, there's no way I'm reading that. On what Tottenham achieved last night, he said, congratulate them. I think they are the champions. Well, they are. There's no think, they are. When you get to that, you have to do a lot of things right. I think they've gone through a season with a lot of obstacles and difficulties. They have, in the end, managed a beautiful moment. You have to congratulate. This is sport. I'm sure they've done everything in their hands to achieve it, and they are very happy. Yeah, they are. I wish we were. And if we've had a better season than them, I don't like to compare with other teams. I need to analyse my team. That's my job. I've got to say something. We're going to need Red Stripe. He's telling fibs again. What did he say last week? What did he say? He said Liverpool. And how many points they had. And so you don't want to analyse another team. I want to focus on my team. But you was analysing Liverpool last week. The points that we had last season, guys, we would have won the title, guys. We would have won the title. Bring your boots. Bring your pads. So he analysed Liverpool, but he don't want to analyse Tottenham. There's definitely a season in politics for that guy when he retires. On our game at Southampton, he said, there's motivation. You want as many points as possible. We still want to achieve the best defensive record and the Golden Glove. That'll be the height of our season. Raya wins the Golden Glove, people. Are you still complaining? Very much so. And probably for the next 10 minutes, to be honest. And maybe for the next 2 months. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Dembele, bring your boots. Ball crossed in, Dembele, 1-0. Oh, no, we're out the Champions League. I brought my boots. What was the point? Anyway, let's move on. On if he switches off in the summer. Said you need to reset. In order to do that, there are many parts. You need to rest. You need to be very convinced and aligned with what you want to do to give yourself the next chance to be where we want to be. Then you need to start to feel that feeling in your tummy. He loves that, innit? In your tummy. I think this guy's got bellyache or indigestion. That you're willing to come back here on day one, fully motivated, fully enthusiastic to go again with the group of players and the staff that we have. He says so much, but says so little. On how excited he is for next season, I'm excited, but I now need to rest a little bit to calm down, to start to make certain decisions in the most efficient way with the right time. Just end it, please. On Berta's role, I think he's going to be a big contributor with his experience. The fact that he's already won in very difficult contexts with the way he's built teams, he is exceptional. I think we have to share that responsibility, and Andrea is going to be a key part to driving the plans and the ideas, and we have to execute them. And we are here to support him. Andrea Berta, my friend, You're our only hope. No, he's constipated. You're right. He's full of ish, people. He is constipated. How he would summarize the season in one word. He said, I knew that question was coming. When it finishes, I will do that. If I count one, I might use three. All right. On being linked with Rodrygo, I wouldn't like to name a player. The biggest thing is that, and using the word pride, we've brought the club into a position, into a place that next season you have to win a major trophy. You're damn right. I've been waiting years for you to say that. That means that everybody believes that we have the level, that we have shown the consistency, and we are an elite team in this country and in Europe. And if you don't do that, then what is going to happen? For me, that is the biggest statement that Arsenal is there. Preach it. Now, I need to actually watch the press conference because I want to know how he's saying that. Is he saying it with sarcasm or is he saying it in a serious manner? I haven't watched the press conference. I saw some of the quotes. It sounds like he's being a bit like, oh, you're saying I've got to win trophies now. I don't know, but I haven't seen it. So let me not, be disrespectful. I'm taking it as I'm reading it and I agree with it. We're now in a position where next season you have to win a major trophy. That means everyone believes we're at the level. Yeah. So I'm going to watch it back after. I should have watched it really before reading it. He was supposed to win a trophy this season, yeah. On whether we should be in conversation when a player like that is on the market, he said, if you want to win major trophies, you have to be the best in the market. The teams that win have the best players always at this level. Yeah, it's not rocket science. Wasim said, Arteta's okay to compare our points tally with Liverpool's last few seasons, but refuses to talk about Tottenham today. No accountability and a liar. Wasim not happy. He was emphatic. I'm going to watch it back. Havertz history. How Kai became the guy in M5. We're going to need crates of red stripe. It's going to be a long summer. Imagine, and this ain't even a question. I can't believe they actually made an article of this. Bring your boots. Bring your pads. Havertz history, how Kai became the guy in M5. That could be the most shameless headline title I've ever seen in my life. Tempted to end the whole stream. On Havertz bulking up. You saw the difference, yeah? Imagine being a journalist. Going in a press conference and asking him that. On Havertz bulking up. That's your... It's the last game of the season. And the question you're asking him is about Havertz putting some weight on while he's been injured. And then they put an article, Havertz, how Kai became the guy in M5. It's a disgrace, guys. It's an absolute disgrace. And whether Havertz' return alters the thinking in the transfer market, it better not. He said, what is clear with the amount of injuries we had in the front line is that we need a goal threat. Yeah, that's right. We need the firepower out there. And understanding that the context can change tomorrow. We cannot rely on the numbers we had before. We have to add goals. We have to add creativity. And we have to add numbers that will be in different positions. I agree with that. And I don't say that often. Whether it's a worry, football is binary in terms of success and failure. I mean, it pretty much always has been. Externally, yes. You're going to only evaluate that when you use those two words and that's it. But then you make decisions based on that. So next season, you don't do that, you are out. Yeah. If you do that, you are here forever. Well, not quite forever, but you can have longer. I don't know what it is. Because last night is a really good example, or the final between Inter and PSG. They're going to be judged only if they win it. If not, they're going again like the last 12 years that they have tried it. I have a very different view on that. I mean, I don't know if people have seen, there is reports that Simone Inzaghi's job could be on the line if he doesn't win the Champions League because they lost in the Italian Cup. And it looks like Napoli are going to win the title. So consequences for not winning trophies, yes. He's acting, I think because this guy played for Everton, it's like he don't understand that. On dealing with that with the players, he said, but where is the joy then? Because then if I analyse ourselves, Arsenal Football Club, then we have failed in the last 20 years in the Premier League. Well, ultimately we have. We've had great times, but we haven't succeeded. And we have failed in all our history in the Champions League. If you take it there, what? Who are we then? What is our brand? What is our club? What is it that we stand for? What is our value? What is our way of playing? Thomas Partey, 25 long throw-ins against PSG. What are the moments that we live together with our people? If we're just going to evaluate that, we have to do a summary. What is it? 20 years of that and a full history of our club in Europe. I wouldn't go that way. Yo, Antonio from Uptown, this is why I have to move like this. I would say, Mikel, how come around the Emirates Stadium you put up a sign when Arsenal win a major trophy? Arsenal FA Cup winners 2020. Arsenal Premier League winners 2004. How come you don't put up Arsenal second place in the Premier League 24-25? Because guess what? It isn't a major achievement. You wouldn't even paint it on the paper, would you? So ultimately, you can try and change the narrative, but this is how sport runs, people. Yeah, we look for progress, but success is lifting the trophy. On the Women's Champions League final, I said, I'll be watching, wishing them. I think everybody is on board. I wish them all the best. Good luck to them. I might do a watch-along for that. On whether their success brings energy throughout the club, he said, for sure, the women, what we do in the academy, at any level, anything that is very positive for the club, we are more than happy to do it. And whether he would like to keep Thomas Partey next season, he said, yeah, I've said it many times. He's been a bit more open with his answers today. I think Partey must be close to signing. Whether he has a number in mind of how many players he wants to bring in, and he says, yes. He ends it there. The waffle is finally over. That was tough to read and listen to, and apologies. That is not easy. Make sure you get the likes up. Let's get 1,000 likes. I'll read out this super chat, then we'll round up. AMSN, the biggest issue at the club is a lot of fans support the manager and the players over the club, even if the club is failing. Arsenal FC, yes. Arteta FC, no. And let's end it there. Big up to everybody locked in. Appreciate your support. Arsenal therapy is done for another day. And we move forward, people. We move forward. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm on a couple of shows tomorrow. I'm on with Dan Potts at 12 on his channel. I'll be back here at 1:30 on my channel. We might do a Champions League watch-along on Saturday for the women's game. And, yeah, Sunday we'll round up the Premier League season. And then that'll be it. And then we can book our holidays and put Arsenal watch-alongs out of our mind for a bit and just focus on transfers. So, big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well. Enjoy your Thursday. Don't worry about Tottenham. They're still irrelevant, but we better win something quick. And I'm not talking about the Emirates Cup. Enjoy your day, people, and I'll see you all soon, people. Bless.